Hello everybody, welcome to another What's the Combo. This is episode 14 and we're actually looking at an enabler card, an enchantment called Mana Echoes. It enables Sliver Queen and Krenko when Krenko has a couple of goblins in play to go infinite. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the cards. We have Krenko and the Sliver Queen. There are other cards that Mana Echoes works very well with, but we're just going to concentrate on the Sliver Queen and Krenko Mob Boss. So, what happens with Mana Echoes is whenever a creature comes into play, you may add one colorless, to your mana pool for each creature you control that shares a creature type with it. Now, with Sliver Queen, whenever you pay 2, you put a Sliver token into play. That treat the token as a 1/1 colorless creature. So you spend 2 mana, and a Sliver comes into play. With Mana Echoes out, that gives you 1 mana. Nothing really big, but as soon as you hit that second Sliver hitting play, you get 2 Slivers. And that second Sliver hits, and it gets 2 mana, because there's 2 creatures in play. So that allows you to put another 2 into Sliver Queen and make another Sliver, which now generates 3 mana. And 2 of that mana goes in to create a Sliver, and you have 1 floating. And you have 4, and so on and so forth. It goes up and up and up. The more Slivers you generate, the more mana you're going to get after the third one. At least it's the third one. First, second, yep, the third one. So Mana Echoes and Sliver Queen, all you need is 3 mana and you're golden. You start going infinite. And then you have an infinite Sliver army. Now if you use things like Sliver Overlord, Sliver Hive Lord, Sliver Legion or whatever, and you start searching for Slivers, and you put in, say, you play the anyone that gives haste, like Blur Sliver from M14, then boom, all your Slivers can attack. If they have poison, then it just kills people a lot faster. So you have infinite Slivers, infinite speed, and with haste, it's infinite death right off the bat. So that's all you really need for that. This is going to be a short episode. Wow. With Krenko Mob Boss, you have to equip Sword of the Paruns to him. And you need to have a couple of goblins in play first. So the first time you tap Krenko, you'll have 1 mana from 1 goblin, because he's a goblin and you create 1. So second time you tap Krenko, you get 2 mana because you've got 2 goblins. And then once you hit that third goblin created by Krenko, you then start untapping Krenko and creating an infinite number of goblins. And again, if you have haste of some type, I think Goblin King or something like that. Let's just take a look real quick. I think it might be Goblin King or Goblin Lord. I was looking for things that allows you to spend mana. So the Goblin King, other goblins get +1/+1 and have Mountain Walk. Now that's quest for Goblin Lord. Let's just look for Goblin in the title. There's a lot of them, so there's a whole bunch of them. So if you have just 1 goblin, I think it's Goblin Berserker. He has First Strike and Haste. There's one recently that gives everybody Goblin Chieftain. Yep, there we go. Goblin Chieftain. He only costs 3 to get out, and all your goblins have haste. And there's another one where all your goblins have haste and they have to attack, that kind of thing. So, as you can see, Mana Echoes is really, really, really broken when it comes to Sliver Queen and Krenko with Sword of the Paruns. There are other cards out there that go infinite with Mana Echoes as well, but in different ways. I'm not going to cover those because I did not research those. It was actually requested to do Sliver Queen plus Mana Echoes, and that's what I'm doing. So, build your deck around Krenko Mob Boss and Sword of the Paruns and Mana Echoes if you want to. I keep saying mana and mana, they're interchangeable. in EDH. You can't use it in tiny leaders because Krenko is at casting cost 4, and Sword of the Paruns is also casting cost 4, and Mana Echoes is converted mana cost 4, and Sliver Queen is a 5. But as you can see, this is a really killer combo if you can get it going in EDH. Krenko has won more than enough games by going infinite by, was it turn 3 or 4, maybe turn 5, and having a way to go haste or to sacrifice all your creatures for damage. And that's crazy good. I lost to Krenko several times during tournaments. Whenever my friend Chris played it or my friend Dave played it, I lost. And Dave hadn't realized exactly that he could have done that. And he did so with impunity and killed everybody in one tournament when everybody else was struggling against each other instead of him. It's the way of the Goblin. They're underrated. But Krenko as a commander is a very deadly commander if you have it built right. The Sliver Queen is also an extremely deadly commander. She's a legendary sliver, and if you have this and Sliver Queen, you're going to win the game so long as people don't put a stifle on her ability or do a wipe of the board before you can attack. But if you can get slivers out to attack and they're all hasty and you've got Sliver Queen and 3 mana, you're going to win the game. So long as people don't muck with you. I mean, there's always fog and stuff like that, or what is it, Circle of Fire, where if somebody attacks, creatures take 1 point of damage per every time they attack if they're not flying. So these are 1/1 colorless slivers, so they're going to get pinged to death when they are declared to attack. So there are ways around them, but generally people don't play those answers often in EDH, and it's a shame. I tend to run with answers to Krenko, definitely, because he puts out all those goblins, and I like to have the answers where each creature does damage to its controller. Each creature does damage to itself equal to the number of attacking creatures, stuff like that. So there's that, and then there's also El Schnorn, which immediately puts kibosh on both of them, unless you have some way to give your creatures an additional +2/+2 on top of their toughness, because El Schnorn does -2/-2 to all other creatures that you don't control, and +2/+2 to yours. So that is that's a thing. I mean, you can run El Schnorn and Sliver Queen easily because you've got white in the mana cost here. Sliver decks just tend to be really overpowering, especially when you throw flight, unblockability, or poison on them, and they just lay waste to everybody. Let's make 1,000,000 slivers that are poisonous and then do poison damage to everybody, so 40 life doesn't even matter. If you ask me, in EDH, life should be poison should be 1/2 the life total that you start with. So in EDH it's 40, 1/2 that 20. Just like in standard, 1/2 of 20 is 10. Where I play, there's a house rule that in EDH, I believe only. I don't know about modern or anything like that, but in EDH, the poison counters go to 15 instead of 10. Now, it would have been funny if it would have went to 11, but I'm not the one that made the house rule. Well, anyway, this has been Mana Echoes and Sliver Queen, and additionally Mana Echoes and Krenko Mob Boss with Sword of the Paruns. Now, if you know of any other combos that use Mana Echoes to go infinite for infinite life, infinite damage, or infinite whatever, let me know in the comments below, and I'll give you a shout out next time I come around. Next Magic the Gathering video I put together is probably going to be a Tiny Leaders deck tech on my Kemba deck. It's a mono white equipment deck with Kemba Regent as the leader, and hopefully you'll enjoy that and give me some good feedback on what you'd like to see. There are a couple of cards I'd like to add to it, and I'll talk about that in the next video. So until next time, enjoy playing games, enjoy playing Magic the Gathering. Please like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps me out. And if you visit www.patreon.com/ExcaliburZone and become a patron, that especially helps me out. As always, this is Excalibur, and I am out.